When you had Roger Goodell on, Emmanuel, I think it was in August, he offered an apology to Colin Kaepernick. But Colin Kaepernick still has not been signed by a team. Is this collusion? Do you think he'll ever go back to the NFL?
No, I don't think Colin Kaepernick will play in the NFL, but there's so many variables to this. What do I mean by that? In the NFL, every organization runs a cost-benefit analysis. How much will it cost us to have you on our organization, and how much will you benefit us? So if you're an NFL organization, especially 4 years removed in regards to Colin Kaepernick, now you're weighing the risk reward. Okay, he'll come in and obviously he'll be anywhere from a second to a third string quarterback right now. Is having Colin Kaepernick as a second or third string quarterback worth the questions that every player will now get asked, that we will now get asked? And is it worth the distraction that the media will create? Not Colin Kaepernick necessarily, but the media will create. So because of that, I don't think that Colin Kaepernick would get signed. I also think that, I don't know, sometimes there's an impasse. Remember, let's talk Cam Newton for a second. Cam Newton didn't want to be a backup quarterback. He wanted to be a starter. And as a result, there was only one team that wanted to make him a starter. Eric Reed, someone who has been proudly known to be standing by Colin Kaepernick, very justifiably so. The Washington football team, they offered him a place on their practice squad. Eric Reed turned it down because Eric Reed views himself as a starter. And so just because you want to play doesn't necessarily mean that the position that will be offered to you that you do in fact want. So because of all the nuances regarding that, I personally don't see Colin Kaepernick playing in the NFL.
So it was the situation where the owners didn't want him for a while, and now Father Time has entered into the equation as well, a little bit perhaps, too.
I would say it's a combination of everything. It's the owners don't want what the media will bring with that, number one. And number two, it's so detailed and it's so multifaceted, but until the owners can also get their fans to understand it wasn't about disrespecting the flag, it was about a just cause, then the owners who are always worried about bottom line, who are always worried about their dollars, now are going to run the risk of losing their dollars for the sake of Colin Kaepernick. And unfortunately, owners just aren't that selfless. Like, you don't become a billionaire by being selfless. That's not how it works.
And as you were saying too, Emmanuel, different cities, different owners, different politics, it's all
Correct.
Part of that equation, as you said. You mentioned the 32 owners. Only 2 of them are people of color, and only 3 non-interim head coaches are black. Wow. Seems like there's a long way to go there too, right?
Yeah, but the issue, Andy, is that so many people think the NFL is a meritocracy. However hard you work, you'll earn your success. It's not. It's really based off nepotism and cronyism. Nepotism, you hire your family, and cronyism, you hire your friends. Historically, if the NFL was founded by white men, and white men are hiring their family, nepotism, white men. They're hiring their friends, cronyism, white men. So how do you think that the NFL will change if it's historically founded by white men who are looking out for other white men? It won't. And so that's why it's not a coincidence when you see only 3 out of 32 coaches full-time who began the season, or whatever the statistic may be, are black. That's not a coincidence. That's just the way in which our world at large works. And the NFL is a reflection of that.